that we're looking at today is very important. If you reflect on the topic, unlocking wealth creation through enhanced agro-processing of priority value chains for nutrition and diets. When you talk about wealth creation, I think we then are back to the Malawi 2063. That's the centerpiece. Let's create wealth. But when we're talking about the quick wins, we then have to look at which sectors can easily bring that wealth quickly. And the agriculture sector, where we've been for a long time, already offers us huge comparative advantages. And that's why in the pillar 1 of the Malawi 2063, we have agricultural productivity and commercialization. But this is where there's now a link between how we're creating the wealth through agro-processing and the link to the diets, nutrition and diets. And I think the issue here, and I'm sure that's why the Minister of Trade and Industry would be very interested here, is how do we then develop these priority value chains to be able to support the nutrition and diets. Now, if you're looking at the continent, when I was doing a quick check, about in a year, Africa imports food worth over $100 billion US. And we're importing from across the BRICS, Brazil, India, China, South Africa. So you can see that apart from South Africa itself, we're importing outside. Meaning there's a market here. And Malawi has got all the fertile land that we can produce and send out.
Firstly, let me commend the National Planning Commission and indeed the Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources and the MwAPATA Institute for organizing yet another Eminent Speakers Series workshop. This is the 12th Eminent Speaker Series event, which is trying to explore and identify agro-processing opportunities and challenges and derive actionable recommendations to address these challenges. The agricultural sector remains the driver of our economic development in Malawi. And according to the Reserve Bank of Malawi report of 2022, the sector provides 90% of our export earnings and contributes to about 23.4% of our national GDP. I guess the question that this series, the 12th one, will need to focus on is much as the quantities of our agricultural exports might be rising, but is the value of our agricultural exports really something worth mentioning at all? And I'm saying this because we are grappling with issues of our trade balances. And I myself, and I know many of you, ask yourselves the question of what is Malawi exporting? And I think this is a serious question that should feed into our manufacturing sector, should also start challenging us when we say that agriculture is the backbone of our economy. Because my own observation is that if 90% of our exports is agricultural products, really agricultural commodities, then essentially what we mean is 90% of our exports is in the form of agricultural raw materials. So that those that are serious with exports, whether in South Africa or in China or elsewhere, can now ride on our raw materials to do real manufacturing for real exports. If we look at increasing exports, then the flip side of the same coin is a discussion on import substitution. I still think, and this is subject to discussion and conversation on a forum like this one, that we have not done so well as a country in terms of import substitution.
One thing to stress, and this is work from Chatham House in London as well as from the global panel, is that this is a movement globally now. Food system transformation is no longer a fringe benefit or a fringe academic discipline. It's something that we've realised has huge fiscal benefits as well. So that's just a global report talking about the hidden costs of agri-food systems and really highlighting those, especially from environmental degradation, but also their impacts in terms of undernourishment and health. And perhaps one key thing to reference is that especially diets in the global north are not the thing to aspire to always. The ultra-processed people book there is just there as a reminder to me that a lot of the food that I see on supermarket shelves is not really very nutritious at all, whether it's the white bread or highly ultra-processed sweets or whatever it may be. There are things that we should really make the most of the more nutritious crops and plants that we have throughout the world, and here in Malawi is no exception. I'm really interested here in how the different aspects of innovation can work together. So the meeting we held this morning was very much looking at the governance process for how can we have a food system transformation commission, something along those lines, that takes the best insight from multiple stakeholders and embeds that through an independent body, whether that's part of the National Planning Commission, or we had discussions about could it be something, a food system commission linked to the Office of the President, that we look at these issues in a cross-sectoral way, but also we bring in the insights from multiple stakeholders. And today we're really going to, or this afternoon, we're going to focus more on the technological innovation side of how we can innovate within an existing food system.
So, Honourable Minister and the seniors, this morning we had this kind of discussion about the food system, and what we noted, or what we've seen at country level, when people talk about food system, they always think that it's to do with the food production or crop production. But the food system has got these four main areas. You have to look at the country landscape, the infrastructure, the roads, the energy. Then you have to look at what is the issue in terms of food security, nutrition, and health. Then the third one is to do with the social economy. This is what you covered, Honourable Minister, when you were here. Then finally is in the environment. When you look at these discussions, we rarely see the environmental sector being represented in the food system discussion. We rarely see the transport sector being represented in the food system. What does it mean? It means as a country, if we really want to move from one level to another, all key sectors have to be available on the roundtable discussion. This is just a slide that's showing you, Honourable Minister, that the food system has got actors, it has got impacts, it has got activities. And what we've noted, if we are not planning well in terms of the programming, we can have land degradation because we are advancing food systems. We can also have marginalized societies because we are not able to program well, but we can also have production imbalance. So what does it mean? At the ministerial level, there is need to look at these things very clearly, but also try to get data and evidence from institutions that we have at country level, but also from the partners that are with us working on this intervention.
My name is Alex Kalmo. My company does soybean innovations. Specifically right now, we are making soy milk and soy yogurt from locally sourced soybeans. So our value chain, soybean, is very exciting because there's a lot of products that we can process it into, including the one that we are interested in. And with soy milk and soy yogurt, this is a very low-cost product to produce, and the output is very high. You can make a liter of soy milk for less than 120 MwAPATA, which is very low compared to the cost of dairy milk. So this is a very interesting value chain that we should really be investing in and promoting as a country because of even the nutritional benefits that it offers. In topic to what we are trying to discuss here, it is a very cheap source of protein that can easily bridge the gap for nutrition in the villages. And as the professor was presenting, he also mentioned something about school feeding programs. So this is also, we look at this as an opportunity that we're looking into. If we can make a lot of soy milk available in schools, we are already closing this gap. We have done our part in trying to find solutions for First of all, just how the process, which is access to machinery that we can use to bring this new innovation to market. And we've done that through partnerships. Our friends from trade might be able to testify. We have been able to partner with some cooperatives who have machinery and equipment. Right now, we have partnered with the LUANAR NRC, who have given us access to their equipment and lab while we finish constructing our factory.
I'm Pogonde Chenyo. I'm the business manager for Asia Agro and Packaging Enterprise. We are based in Mikuni, so we are into the production and processing of nutritious crops. We are mainly focusing on orange fresh sweet potato. We're focusing on noa beans, rice, cassava, sorghum, and we'll also start processing spaghetti from orange fresh sweet potato. We're also looking into processing noodles from orange fresh sweet potato. So I have heard talk here, everyone is talking about we want to export, we are trying to export. Ours is different. For example, we are making cassava starch. Cassava starch is an ingredient used in feed making, like what they are doing. It's also used in pharmaceutical companies, Pharmanova and others. Now the problem these companies have is that they are failing to find the cassava starch. So what do? We come in, we are after import substitution. In the past, you have these companies that were buying cassava starch from as far as Switzerland, Germany, India. Now they're buying right from us.
But I want to start by highlighting the few questions that the Honorable Minister raised, which we can be thinking about. He asked the question, how do we enhance the value of our exports? This was one of the important questions that he raised. And he also asked what tangible ways can we adopt to increase our exports. So the two questions are related but not the same. He also asked the question, should we wait until we attain comparative advantage in infrastructure and other services before we start talking about exports? He was imploring us here on thinking of something that can work now and not waiting until we have everything in place. The Honorable Minister also asked the question, is the moral persuasion through the Buy Malawi campaign working? Or we need to look at other instruments that can promote buying of local commodities. Finally, he produced a statement which said, if Malawi is a market for the commodities that are being imported to Malawi, then it means that Malawi should produce. These are, I have those 4 questions and that statement as the key things that should make us keep on thinking on what next based on the Honorable Minister's speech.
Thank you so much, participants of this eminent speaker series, for attending the discussions that we had here. We have had a conversation. So I, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Professor Emmanuel Kaunda, and on behalf of Associate Professor Agnes Mangwena, our Deputy Vice Chancellor, in partnership with our colleagues from National Planning Commission and MwAPATA Institute, represented by my colleague, and also colleagues from MwAPATA. We are very grateful with the way the series has gone, and the participation of the participants, the entrepreneurs. The discussion was rich, and also the Ministry of Trade. I'm sure that the ministry, you have a lot of work to do from here, from what you have heard from the entrepreneurs, from the presenters. I will not be able to summarize everything because the minister was here. He's talked about the imports, outstripping the exports, and how can we reverse that. And this series is a partnership of policymakers, researchers, and the vision holder, which is the National Planning Commission. And as we listen to the various presentations and what the minister has said, I know that the ministry has work to do, but they also have direction because the minister is already aware of the issues that are making us as Malawi to struggle of the things that we produce. So the issue of non-tariff barriers that are making exports so difficult, and I'm sure that the ministry will work towards this. We also heard from the professor from York University that we need to use disruptive models to transform our food systems. That's the message that I've taken, and it was echoed by our colleague who has worked with UNIDO. And our own Professor Kwambisi also mentioned about programming at the higher level, at national level. We need to start creating directorates that can take up whatever we are visioning and planning to transform the food systems. The discussion that we have had here is all speaking towards making sure that whatever we are producing from the farm to the customer is processed well and can earn money for the country. With these few remarks, I declare that this eminent speaker series is closed. Thank you.